Hello, people. I feel like I've been around the world in just a few days. Around the world in 80 days, I've been around the world in a week. Actually, I've just driven around the great state of Florida, the Sunshine State. And recently I was in Jacksonville, Florida, which has a couple of my favorite bookstores, some of my favorite bookstores. You have Chamblin's Uptown, Chamblin's Book Loft, and you got a Second and Charles, which always seems to do me well. So I had a chance to go to Jacksonville for work, and I had a period of a few hours from the time I was getting off work one day until the stores closed. So one store closed at 5, one store closed at 6, one store closed at 8. So I planned my day to get out of work, get to the first one, get to the second one, get to the third one, get to the hotel, get some dinner, do the thing. But I didn't have as much amazing success as I have in the past on my trips to Jacksonville. I might have shopped them stores out. I might have fished that hole out. Have to wait a little while and go back. But I did have some cool stuff that's going to go in my collection forever and ever and ever. And one that I'm going to read, and one that's pretty okay too. I'm at the Second and Charles here in Jacksonville, Florida. And last time I was here, I found some really cool stuff. It was a very exciting shopping event for me, and I'm going to go in here and check it out and see if I can have some more good luck, good fortune thing. Right up front. What a parking space. So we'll start with, do we start with the worst first? I don't know. I'm going to start. Here we go. The first one I'm going to look at here is something that I wanted to read, and this is The Prestige by Christopher Priest. If you've ever seen the movie, The Prestige, that's got Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman in it. It's a terrific movie, phenomenal movie. This is the book that it was based on. I haven't read the book yet, but I can't wait to read it, and I'd love to see a limited edition version of this book come out. Terrific. Sounds great, highly reviewed. I've talked to someone who read the book, and he actually kind of gave me some comparisons between the book and the movie. And since I love the movie so much, I couldn't wait to get into the book. I found one this one came from Second and Charles. And wow, $5. I paid a lot for it as a reader copy, but I got it, and I couldn't find it any cheaper with shipping on eBay. So this one's going in the TBR pile. It's going to be bumped up closer to the top. Next in line for me, I'm finishing one book today. Here in a few minutes, I'm finishing the book I'm on, and I'm going to jump on Replay by Ken. Who's Replay by? Yeah, go with your first instincts. I'm going to start Replay by Ken Grimwood. I got the Suntop numbered edition coming soon. And then this one's going to be closer to the top of the pile. I really want to read this because, like I said, I love the movie and it sounds great. I can't wait to get into that. We're going to stick with Second and Charles. So I'm going to show you what I got there. I really had bad luck at the Chamblin stores, but I did get one at one of the Chamblin stores that I'm excited about. The next one I got. I'm a person that collects movie novelizations for movies and also movie characters that I love. And I qualified that this time because I love the Terminator and I love Arnold Schwarzenegger's movies. I'm a product of the 80s, born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s, and Arnold is action movies. So Terminator 3, The Rise of the Machines by David Hegberg. And this is a novelization. I've already got Terminator 2. I don't think I have Terminator. I don't know if there is a Terminator. I'm sure there is. I don't have it. But I collect novelizations of movies that I love. And this movie, I can't honestly say that I loved. I love the character. It is Arnold playing the Terminator. And it's got some cool stuff in it. And it's got some iffy stuff. So an okay movie. Maybe the okayest movie you've ever seen. I don't know. An okay movie. But I wanted the novelization because it's Arnold. And it's the Terminator, so that one's going into my collection. It is a first edition, first print, and all the videos I'll talk about what that means. But here's what I'm looking for when I want to find out if it's a first print copy. The number line goes all the way down to 1, and quite honestly, most of these novelizations that I collect or paperbacks or trade hardcovers. If they're not a first print, I usually don't collect them. Sometimes I will. I've got one that's a 6th or 7th print that's worth, they sell on eBay regularly $200 or $250 for a novelization, a paperback. Not this one, something else. But there's that. Doesn't blow your skirt up, but I paid $2.85 for it, and I would do that all day long for something like that. The next one was exciting for me. It's another movie novelization. It's a movie that I kind of liked. I want to say I liked it, but I'm embarrassed to say I liked it a lot. When this movie came out, I saw it at the theater several times. Can't remember if DVD was out at the time or not. Whatever it was, DVD or VHS, I saw that a bunch of times, and I still like it. I watch it today, I still like it, and that is Freddy versus Jason. And this one was a novelization by Stephen Hand. And if you've ever looked up novelizations for Friday the 13th movies, they are hard to come by, and people want a pile of money for them. This one is not the most valuable of them all. You can buy this one on eBay, $25-30 plus shipping for a paperback novelization of a movie that half the world doesn't even care about. Still, it's still impressive. But this is one that I wanted because I'm a big Jason Voorhees fan, and I don't have any Friday the 13th novelizations. I don't have any Nightmare on Elm Street novelizations. This is my first one, and this one was sitting on the shelf at the very front of the store with a bunch of used Stephen King books and other horror stuff, and other horror books just sitting there, pretty as you ever saw. I'd already looked down all the aisles, and I was ready to leave, a little bit disappointed. I was ready to leave, and I went up to the front just to check out their specialty cabinet and their table that they'll have desirable authors and stuff like that sitting on. And what do you know, this one was sitting there. I actually looked for this one on the shelf because I put this author Stephen Hand in my little thing on my phone that tells me authors that I want to look for in bookstores in order and all that kind of stuff. This one was up there, $2.55, so that's exciting for me. This novelization, I'll get the sticker off of it, and I'll get the goo off of the spine and house it where it belongs, on my shelves. The next one I found at 2nd and Charles still is the Repairman Jack book, All the Rage by F. Paul Wilson. And this one is signed by the author. And I've talked a lot about Repairman Jack in videos over time. This one is signed by the author. This is the trade hardcover edition. This book was, and it's the first print, trade hardcover. There's our number line there. This book was first released by Gauntlet Press in a signed and limited edition, and then the trade hardcover came next. So this one will be a first print trade hardcover, which I already had, but mine wasn't signed. So now I got a signed copy. And I'm a big fan of F. Paul Wilson, a big collector of his. I've got a lot of F. Paul Wilson stuff. And Repairman Jack's one of my very favorite characters. And with the exception of the very first book, The Tomb, All the Rage is my favorite of the whole series, besides the first one. This one's my favorite. He references The Island of Lost Souls, a movie based on H.G. Wells' book, The Island of Dr. Moreau, which I love the book, and I love The Island of Lost Souls. I love Charles Laughton, Bela Lugosi, all that kind of stuff. But he references that movie quite a bit in here, and in a kind of a fun way. At one point, it becomes a fun part of the story for a brief period of time there. If you haven't read F. Paul Wilson, I strongly suggest you get The Tomb, you get The Keep, and start there. Read either one of those books, but read them both, and I suspect you might be a fan. And then the last thing I got,
Back again. Chamblin's books. See what they got.
and this one is the Heritage Press War of the Worlds and the Time Machine by H.G. Wells. This book is slipcased and it contains both stories. So if you lay the book down, what's interesting with some of these, this was something that happened from time to time. It was never a very common thing, but it did happen from time to time. If you were to lay this book down on your table just like this, and you open it up, you're going to be reading The Time Machine. If you laid it down on your table like this, and you opened it up, you're going to be reading The War of the Worlds. So both stories begin at their end of the book. But displayed on the shelf, it's obvious which way it goes. It goes the right way. Of course, a lot of publishers used to display books that way. So it could go either way, depending on how you like them. I've got a Folio Society book that's spine is like this. So it could go either way on your shelf as far as that goes. But the Heritage Press, this edition, read-in papers, but it is a letterpress edition. Comes with the sand glass. Essentially, it's a letterpress, almost like a 4-page newspaper or newsletter that's letterpress printed on fine paper, and it tells a lot about the book, and it tells a lot about this particular publishing, what goes into it, whether it be the paper, the typeset, the artist, the author, all the kinds of information about this book. So it's a neat thing, one of those things where when you buy these old Heritage Press books, you kind of hope it's still got the Sandglass newsletter in it. So I mentioned this book is letterpress, and it has some phenomenal art, some phenomenal artwork in it. It's illustrated by Joe Mugnani, M-U-G-N-A-I-N-I, Mugnani. And of course, both stories are written by H.G. Wells. The Time Machine is probably one of my favorite stories of all time. One of them. I got a lot of favorites, but I love The Time Machine. It's dear to my heart, and you can feel the letterpress printing here. I'd like to show you some of the artwork on this before we go. It naturally, when I'm actually looking for it, it seems like it's always hard to find artwork, and I feel like I'm gonna fail at this, but I won't. I'll win. I'll find you some cool pictures from this book. I might be backwards. They might not be in the right order, but there are some awesome pictures in here that I've already seen. When I got it, after I bought it, I was in my car looking through, and naturally, when nobody was looking, I found all these pictures in here that were terrific. So let's see if I can get them out. All right, so here's one. If you're not familiar with this story, you really won't know what it means. But if you've read the story, you would see how awesome that image is. For the movie lovers, it's not there. The book doesn't exactly go with the movie. Very, very good movie. The first one. I can't remember the actor's name. The book and the movie are somewhat different, although still very similar. But this image tells a part of the book that wasn't in the movie. And it does a great job of it. It helps to paint that picture for you. So I can only imagine reading this book, it smells so good, for the first time in this format, and seeing these pictures helping you to draw that out in your mind. When I read it, I was just thinking, reading the words and imagining what it would look like. But this book is somebody else's imagination spelling it out for you, painting a beautiful picture for you. And I love the artwork in here. Again, we're going backwards. So just imagine reading the book backwards. This is what you would see. Going forwards, I was having trouble finding the pictures. And there are some black and white, some small, what would you call them? Small pictures in black and white that I'm passing through here and there. So those, again, help to tell the story. And I don't want to diminish their importance. There's quite a few of those in here, but I'm showing you the big stuff. The big stuff that looks great. Look at that. And this is looking at the Time Machine half of the book. I'll try to find the War of the Worlds images as well. Again, if you read this book, it's just like the story in pictures. The artwork really does a great job telling the story in pictures. Some of this artwork, man, it looks good. I'm pleased with this book. They're not actually it's not actually all that expensive to buy this book, and there's quite a few copies available on eBay. I want to say between 20 and 40 bucks you could get a copy of this book. It was, I think I paid 15 for it at the bookstore there, but it's one that I wanted. I collect H.G. Wells, kind of. I collect certain editions of certain books of H.G. Wells anyway, so I got quite a few. And this was one that was on my radar that I wanted, and seeing it in person was really neat. I couldn't pass it up. So let's look at the War of the Worlds. I'll try to find some of these pictures before we go. And one problem, this picture looks great. One problem might be a minor one. I think these machines have 3 legs, and I count 4 legs here. But it looks really good. Looks really good. I wouldn't hold that against our friend, the artist in this book. I feel like I'm passing something. All right, here we go. Some more artwork from War of the Worlds. And this is a book that it kind of makes me sad because it's an awesome, unbelievable book. And there's been quite a few movie adaptations made of it. And in my opinion, for my taste, every one of the movie adaptations none of them are really that good. The Time Machine's got a great one. The Invisible Man from H.G. Wells, a very great movie. James Whale, 1931, I think, I don't know. The Time Machine. The Invisible Man was very good. I love that movie. But War of the Worlds, well, they've made it. They haven't made a great one. You might like some of them, but I don't think any of them are all that good. Some more artwork there. I can't tell how many. This machine here has 3 legs, like it should be. The other one had 4. Looks like the same machine. Some more of the artwork. Man, this is a nice book. And this is a must-have for fans of the genre, the books themselves, the author, or just, I wouldn't call Heritage Press a fine press, but it's a nice press. They make books that are a step above in quality and obviously in a lot of different things. A step above. It comes in a slipcase, nice thick quality paper. If I read far enough, I can tell you what the paper's made out of. Amazing artwork. And that'll just about cover it. So I didn't set the world on fire with my book haul from Jacksonville, Florida this time. But like I said, I got some books that are going to go on my shelves forever and ever as long as I'm alive. And I've got one that I'm going to read. And so that's not a bad score for me, especially since I was already there for work. You might as well get a little play in at the same time. So those are all the lies I've got to tell. Thanks for watching. I appreciate the time. If you will, please like and subscribe. The kids always tell me, try to remind me to say that, and I almost always forget. But please like and subscribe. I appreciate it for every like I get. There's a puppy out there that's going to wag its tail. Some kitten is going to purr. An angel is going to get its wings. And Michael Myers is going to do what Michael Myers do. Thank you very much. C'est la vie, baby.